Hi everybody, my name is SmallHd and I am a cinematographer from Detroit. I've been shooting about 15 years and I currently own a company called Angles, and we make media and content for various companies and brands, all that stuff. So recently my wife started making a lot of content and it really inspired me to make my own content. So today I am making a video about the wooden camera C50 Elite cage. So this package comes with a top handle, it comes with a top plate, it comes with the full cage, and then it comes with LWS, and it doesn't come with the rods and a dovetail that it comes included with. So I bought this case for numerous reasons, but I'm going to start with the very first and obvious reason is the price. I think for what it was offering, the price sits in a good spot for most of the camera cages on the market for this camera. It's not too expensive, it's not too cheap, but it's right in the middle, very good placement, which is kind of unique for wooden, to be honest. Most of the things I see for wooden is about $1,000 and above. Like sometimes it'd be like 800 to like 1,500. It's right ranked around where Zacuto and like Bright Tangerine kind of price their cages. So that was one big up for this system. I looked at a lot of different cages. I looked at Kondor Blue, I looked at Zacuto, I looked at Shape, Small Rig, everybody. And Titla and wooden were my favorites. The reason being is because they both have this L bracket that you can remove. So if you want to keep your grip uninhibited without a cage around it, you can. All the other brands didn't really have that option. So it was just one big piece. And the reason why this is important is because when you pack for your trips as a cinematographer, sometimes you have to shave weight, or sometimes you need to be able to store the camera in a tighter configuration. And being able to remove a piece of the cage to make it fit better in your bag, super important thing to me. I think that's very overlooked when people are designing things. They're really thinking about how can I make this the best overall experience when it's out of a camera bag. Make sure it's also a good experience putting it in the bag, or I'm flying and I got to put it in carry-on and I got to put every little piece into a case. So I think that's really important too. Build quality is super important. Wooden camera never really makes any things that have any difficult parts about it. It all makes sense. It's very simplistic. Being a camera operator, you should easily be able to look at this and know exactly what to do. Another thing I really enjoy is the mounting on this cage and the system. So you've got Arca Swiss, and then you've also got airy dovetail. Both of those things are really useful. I think that the great thing about this too is that with their accessories, they made it universal as well as future-proof. So the great thing here, and I'll just pull this off. So they have a horizontal Arca Swiss going this way. I'll see if you can see it. Let's see here. Okay. But then it also goes straight and back. So like if you needed a long plate to go under it and it wasn't a mirrorless camera, you could put like a bigger cinema camera on this. So that's really a nice thing. So, but also the additive thing, which maybe some people won't think about, is the fact that you can reorient this. So what I did is I put an Arca Swiss on this part of the, let's see if I can get that. Okay. So I put an Arca Swiss here on the side of the handles because there's multiple mounts here. And so like when I get in a situation and I need to do a vertical shoot, you could just go here, different plate. But as you can see, now it goes vertical and now I'm ready to go vertical. Then the last thing on this is the dovetail on the bottom. It is a universal dovetail. That distinction is very important. One problem I've had with Titla, for example, when you do want to get dovetail products with them, sometimes they have this version that has like a proprietary dovetail, and it usually occurs with the smaller cameras. And that's the problem that I have with them, is that that's not really That's not really a real dovetail. So when you get to a set and you need to borrow someone else's dovetail or switch off one stand to another, then you're SOL, and that's not good. So really it's important to get a camera that has the proper channels for that. If you only using the included one, the nice thing is if you've got your battery sled on the back, you can just move that back however you need, and that can be like your counterbalance for the camera. So there's that nice solution as well. And then because it has the Arca Swiss, which you can easily do is get one of those little battery plates, either by Titla or SmallHd, and you can slide that on the back, or grab the wooden camera battery sled. Another pro is it comes with a top handle. If you want to use it, it's great for if like you're doing a cinema thing and you don't need audio and you don't need the top handle with the audio. It's nice and low profile, so if you need to pack it, it's not like a burden to pack it. The top plate blocks the cold shoe. That's one thing that I don't really like about it. So it's basically a situation where, and what I've noticed on all the other cages too, is if you put any top plate on this, it screws up the ability to use the included handle for the audio. So in my opinion, there's got to be some type of workaround with that so you can have top plate mounting options while having audio and not sacrificing your audio. So somebody needs to come up with that. So that's a con, but it's funny because it's a con for most of the designs for any of these cameras. I think mid 49 solves that problem, but the problem with mid 49 is it's like this giant U-shaped box thing. I don't like it because you can't just pack it in a bag easily. It's just going to take up a lot of space. So briefly talking about that one con with the top plate and the handle, not necessarily a con, but the actual cons that I have about this is the included NATO, which is nice, I get it, but it only, like, if you take off your NATO accessory, there's only one 1/4 inch hole for you to mount something on here. So what some people like Titla did is that they have multiple, and then it's also a NATO, so it's like a 2-in-1 NATO. But I don't believe that the Titla has a 3/4 hole on the side. So let me check that real quick, actually. So that was one of the big reasons why I didn't go with the Titla, is because the side mounts are only 1/4 inch with area locating pins. On this, it's 3/8. So then you have a bigger screw if you need to use it. And then when you do put it on the NATO, you do have a 1/4 inch area locating pin. So there are more options, but you can't go easily back and forth. I would have liked to see it be a 2-in-1 solution, but to have more added flexibility rather than having less flexibility with your mounting options, that's why I ultimately went this route. So it's not, again, it's not necessarily a con. It's just like I would have liked to see a 2-in-1, but they did what they could. So I think it was a decent compromise in the design. Then the last thing that I would say is that I wish that, you know, and a lot of companies haven't done this, haven't figured out a way to create an easy vertical mounting system. So again, I was saying, like, you can put a Arca Swiss here, thankfully, because they do have 3 holes here. Great design choice for them. Thank you. Some people put 1 screw on the side. I'm like, that doesn't help me. So I'm very happy with that. But I always have to take a screwdriver and screw it in before I make it vertical. So it slows me down just a little bit. So if we can get that to be faster in some way, either like develop an Arca Swiss that goes into the handle or, and then comes out and then you can slide in like one with mounting points on it, that would be cool. But again, that's just kind of like a suggestion. It's not like this kills the camera for me. And then the last criticism I have is the mounting system for this cage. When you want to take it apart, is there's 2 very tiny hexes. So getting in there finitely and like unscrewing them is kind of a pain in the butt. But it's doable. So maybe just next time figure out a way to quickly, so like if I want to remove this thing, like there's like a wing nut or something that I can unscrew it quickly with, or toolless, so I don't have to spend as much time removing it, because that's kind of the appeal, is that since it's modular, modularity should to some degree have some toolless designing in it. Just a thought that I had. I also got a monitor mount that I think is perfect for this if you're interested in it. It's by Ikan. The nice thing about it is that I like to have my monitor off to the side. I don't really like to have it on top. Main reason is because, like, let's say for example, if you can see right here, I will put it on easy rig. You don't want a monitor up here if you've got an easy rig setup. It usually gets in the way. Now, I did see one thing that was clever, is that Kondor Blue made a mount here, so you could put a monitor here. But then again, here's the other design problem, is this microphone is up here. So that's not the best either. So mounting a monitor on this can be odd. So that's why I picked this, because this swivel can literally turn. It's really firm. It's not an articulating arm. And then like when you need to put it away, I got it cranked extra hard right now, but you can put it on the amount of tension that you need, but you can literally fold it back up and then it can fit nicely in your bag without too many components. So that's one addition I made on this. Now, the other thing that, again, someone's gonna have a con about this is where this is located. This is where, if I was gonna do drop-in filters, it's blocking that. So you can't just use a drop-in filter and slide it out, because, I mean, slide it in and slide it out, because this will be blocking that. That has been one of the major gripes about a lot of cages for people. Kondor Blue solves that problem, but then what happens with Kondor Blue is that they've sacrificed these mounting points so that you can use your drop-ins without having to remove the entire mount just to throw a drop-in in. So depending if you're using drop-ins, that's maybe the deal breaker on this cage. It wasn't a deal breaker for me because I'm using RF, so that's not my problem. One of my other cons for this is that they did not build lens support into the bottom part of the cage. It's on the top. And so the only time so if you're gonna use like their lens support system, it literally has to be, you have to remove this top handle to do that. And then that's kind of like, nah, I don't want to do all that. I think that sometimes I may want the audio and then still have lens support. Now I have to choose between those. So that's one thing I noticed was something you don't get with this cage, but when you want to expand, you have to basically say, I'm not going to use the top handle audio in order to do lens support. I think there should be some type of design around that. And then something unrelated to the cage that you can purchase from Wooden is their top handle mount. It's all 3/8 holes with airy locating pins at the top. It was $69 for that little piece. I went ahead and bought the Titla. It was like $15. So wouldn't just bring that down a little bit. I mean, if it was like closer to like $30 or $40, I may have still bought it, but a $50 difference, I was like, there's no brainer. I'm gonna buy the Titla. I'm sorry. But other than that, there's not very many cons, and that's exactly why I picked this cage, is because it made me excited in terms of being like, I can grow with this, and then like say I don't shoot with this camera anymore, I don't have to sell my riser. I could keep that, and then I could just buy a cage for whatever is the next camera if I decided to buy more cameras. I hope to God I don't buy any more cameras, because honestly, like these cameras, and there's not really much of a reason why we need to keep buying more cameras. I finally feel like I'm at a place that I don't need to buy anything else. So that concludes my review of this cage. I hope that you liked it. If you liked it, give me a like. subscribe. I'm just starting this up again. You know, I'll be honest, the main reason why I stopped doing this, it's a lot of work. Big kudos to everybody who does any of this type of stuff in the YouTube community. It's not easy. And especially after you've worked a full day and then you're like, I don't really want to do this right now, but I want to do this in terms of like, I haven't made something for myself in a long time. And I think it's incredibly important that you do stuff like this, even if it doesn't get a couple views. And I definitely remember when Tyler, the creator, was talking about this, is like, you have no idea who's watching. So hopefully this helped you. Again, like and subscribe. And if you have any other questions or comments, just leave them down below in the comment section and I'll definitely answer them. So thanks for tuning in and see you guys in the next one.